Friends, welcome to CSAP Space. Today in this video session we will discuss how to perform a CRUD operations in ASP.NET MVC using AngularJS. So let's start. We open our Visual Studio and create an ASP.NET empty project. Now here we select ASP.NET MVC web applications and here we rename it. It's Angular CRUD Operations and click to OK. Now it's creating a project. Here we select empty templates and a view engine as a result. So now it's creating. So now my project is created. So in first step we need to create a database and connect that database with this project. So I already created a database for this. This is the as a test name, and I create here a tables. We use a insert, update and delete operations on this table. This is a TBL registration table, and I already create a store procedures for this. I create a register store procedure for adding a record into this TBL registration table. Here we create a store procedures for this. And this store procedure for finding the record on the behalf of their serial number, and this store procedures for deleting the record on the behalf of serial number, and one more store procedures for updating the record on the behalf of serial number. It's a email, password, name, address and city, and where serial number is equal to this. So all this database is prepared. So we need to connect this database with my projects. So here we find a connection string and go to Solution Explorer. Here we go to web config file and create here a connection string for this. It's add name is equal to con, and it's a connection string, and it's a provider name system dot data dot SQL client. Now we save this web config. Now this connection string is connected. So in this project we use edu.net for all the database operations. So if you have another technologies like links entity framework, so you can use it. So now we start process to this project. We go to our Solution Explorer and here we create a new folder for all the database operations. So here we create a database access layer for this. It's a database access layer, and here we add a new class. It's a db.cs class. And here is we adding some more namespaces for the fetching the records. System.data using system.data.SQL client, and it's using system.data.system.configurations. Here we add the connection string for this, it's con is equal to new connection string. It's a configuration manager. It's a connection string name dot connection string. Now we create a functions for insert, update, and delete, and one more function for show the record on the behalf of their ID. So I already created all these functions for this, so I simply copy this. So this is the function for inserting the record. It's a SP register. It's this procedure name. It's a SP registers, and this function for getting the record on getting all the record. So it's a SP register get this store procedures. It's finding the all the record on the star basis, and this function for updating the record on the behalf of their serial number. This function is and this function for getting the record on the behalf of their serial number, and this function is for deleting the record on the basis of their serial number. This to procedure is this is a register delete. So now in next step we need to create a class for this register class. So we need to add one more class for this. Here we create a class for this. So here we write all the properties for this table. So I already write properties for this table, so simply copy it and paste it here. It's a serial number, emails, passwords, name, address, and city. So now it's done. We need to add a namespace for this. So now this file is error free. We go to our solution explorer and add a new controller. It's a home controller, and here we add a view for this. This view for index action result, and we adding some more names, more pages. This for show data, fetching all the records, and one more view for updating the record. It's update data. Now all this view is created. So we go to our home controller file, and now we have to create some functions for fetching the records, fetching a record, adding and deleting. So here we add a function for this. It's a public JSON result. It's a JSON result type. It's a add record. Also we need to add a model for this using it's a Angular model CRUD Operations dot models. So we can find the class for this register rs, and here we also call a database access layer dot db. It's a db layer is equal to new db layer, and here we call that function add a record, and this function want this class register class. So here we pass it, and I taking one more string for result. It's a string dot empty, and we take a try catch block for exception handling. Here we provide a value for this string variable. It's inserted, and if any error is occurred, so write it failed. Now we return this string. It's a return JSON, and this is the JSON result behavior. JSON dot allow get. Now this function is for adding a record into this table. So we also remove this. So in next step we create a Angular controller for fetching the record, for inserting the record into this table. So we go to our solution explorer, and here we create one more folder. Say like scripts, and one more folder for adding a CSS. So here we add a angular.main.js. So we copy it, and it's a bootstrap.main.css for designing. Here we create one more folder for creating an Angular controller. It's a Angular controller, and adding a JavaScript file like a home AngularJS. Click to OK. Now it's adding a JS file, so it's added. So here we create where app is equal to angular dot module, and here we write app names like a home app, and it's a blank array. It's app dot controller, and here we write a controller name, it's home controller, and here we create a function, it's a dollar scope, and it's a dollar http. This value for uh, transporting the data between a controller, angular controller, and view, and this variables is used for fetching the record on the behalf of the server, and showing that record into view. So here we create a function for adding a record. So here we take a variable for changing a button text, is a btn text equal to save, and dollar scope dot save data is equal to function, and dollar http dot we also add change that button text, so dollar scope dot btn text is equal to please wait. Now here we call that methods that we created in a home controller. It's the method type is post, and it's a URL, we creating this function, so we're taking that URL, it's the home, it's a record that we inserted, it's a data, it's a dollar scope dot register, because we created a model name register. Now on the success, if this calling a function is success, then transfer to this function is a success, and we take any data, we change their button text name, it's btn text is equal to save, and we null that register variable equal to null, and we alert this message d that come from this method, like inserted or held, and if any error is occurred, so we create a function for this, alert like a field. Now we go to our index view for creating a designs for adding the record into this table. So we go to our view, its index, and here we create a designs for this. So I already created design for this, so simply copy it. So this is the app name, as our app name is home app, and this is the controller name. This is the controller name, and this input control for emails, and this for password, it's for name, and it's for address, and this input control for city, and this buttons for saving a record into database. And on the click function of this control, we call to that function, it's a save data, and we change the value on the behalf of this variable, it's a btn text. And here we add files for angular.main.js and controller files. So here we drag and drop it. So we added all the required files. Now we run this view. Now it's run. So here we fill the data. testemail@gmail.com. Its password 1234. Its name week, and its address like New Delhi, and click to save. Now data is inserted, so we check our value in the database. So select start from TBL registration. So this value is inserted, testemail@gmail.com, say week, New Delhi and Delhi. So this all the functions for adding a record into database. Now we create a function for get all the record from database and show that data into tabular form. So here we create one more function for this. It's a public JSON result, and it's a get data. We take a data set for this. It's a data set. We add a namespace for this using ts is equal to db layer dot, it's a get record, and we taking a list for storing a record. It's a register, it's a list rs, is equal to new register. Here we create a for each loop, and it's a data row dr into ts dot tables 0 dot rows. Now we adding items into this list dot add, it's new register, and here we add items like a serial number equal to its integer type, so we convert it, it's dr dot serial number and its email, dot toString, and it's a password dr dot password dot toString, and it's a name dot toString, and its address address dot toString, and its city dot toString, and then we return this list as a JSON result. So it's a return JSON, and it's a list this, and JSON result behavior dot allow get. Now we go to our Angular controller, and here we create a function for getting a record. It's a dollar http, and if we write here method name is get data dot, then its function taking a variables, and here we write a dollar scope dot register is equal to the dot data, and if any error is occurred, so here we create a function for this, alert, it's a field. Now we go to our uh, view where we display the record. So we go to Solution Explorer and go to Show Data View, and here we create designs for show the record on the basis of this table. So we created designs for this, so I already create this, This is the tables, and this is the head for this serial number, emails, passwords, name, address, and this is their expected data. And we create a loop ng repeat into this scope. Here we create a variable register, so we take a variables and create a loop into this record. And I also create even and odd styles classes for this, for differentiate the rows. It's for odd background color and it's for even background color. And we write the ng class even, this for even class, and this for odd class. And this here we create a functions for updating the records and deleting. We create functions for this in next steps. So we change their app name, so home app, and this is the controller name. Here we take these two files, one for angular.main.js and one for angular home AngularJS. So now we run this web page, this view. It's not showing a record. I think something error is occurred, so we check our controller. Sorry for this. Here we not writing a get methods, and this for variables. And here we also change its register variables. We create a loop into these variables. So now we again run this. Now it's showing the record that we inserted into tables. Now we create one more view for updating the record. So we go to our view, and this is the my view name, and here we create one more view for this. This is the update data. So we change it, it's update data, and here we take variables which we find the record on the basis of this serial number. We also adding one more functions for getting the record on the behalf of their id. So simply copy this, and it's a get data by id, and here we take variables and the functions that show the data on the behalf of their serial number. It's get record by id, so we copy this and we call this function to here, and we pass this integer value. Then it's find a record on the behalf of this id and store into this database, and as like where we display the data, we set all the record into this list and return to this list. So we go to our controller, and here we create a function for fetching the record on the basis of their id. So this is the my function name, and here we write it. It's also take one more parameters for this. Taking a parameter, so I copy this inside a function. So is scope dot load record is equal to function, and here we take variables like id and then paste to this function into this. So here we take that parameter's name id, and then that record is inserted. We pass this value into these variables, and if any error is occurred, so its alert is failed. We want only first record, so here we index means we finding only 0 records, means it's a return only one record on the basis of this id. So we change it to data and it's a 0. Oh, now we go to our update data controllers and go to view, and here we create a designs for show the records. So we go to our index file and we copy these designs, and then here we call that angular function. It's a data ng and its init is equal to, we write this function name, it's a load record, and here we pass a integer means serial number. It's convert to int 32. It's a request dot query string. We here pass a query string name. It's id. Now it's done. We check this once again. So I think here is one more bracket is required. So now we run this. View in browser. And click to any record like this. Here we creating. Now this data is bind on the behalf of this serial numbers, and if we change on this record, it's showing 6 functions. So I think something is missing. Something is missing into this record. No, it's showing the record on the behalf of their serial number. Now we creating a function for updating the record into database. So we go to our Visual Studio and create a new function for updating a record into database. So here we create one more function for updating the record. We go to our view, and here we create one more JSON result file like this. We copy this, and it's a update record, and here we call a function for updating record. So go to our data basics layer, and here we find this function for updating a record. So we call this function, it's update record, and it's successfully updated. Then we change the message, it's updated. Now this is a function for updating the record on the behalf of their serial number. So we go to our view, it's update view, and we also create one more AngularJS functions. So here we create functions for updating a record. It's update data, and it's we change their name is please wait, and when data is saved we change their text, and we call my function name is home record. It's update record, paste it here, and we pass that value into this JSON result, and it's when data is successfully completed, then this register is equal to null, and this for if any error is occurred, then it's showing error failed. Now we go to our view and change this function name is here, change this function name. Now we run this show data table view, so view in browser. Now we click on any record like this update, and here we change name like 12398, and also change their password and click to save. It's successfully updated, so we check it. Now all the passwords and names are updated. So in next step we create functions for deleting the record. So we go to our home controller. So here we create one more functions for deleting the record. So I copy this and we change this delete record, and it take only serial numbers, so ID, and we find functions for deleting a record. It's a delete data, and it taking only serial number, so paste it. This function taking a serial number, and on the behalf of serial number it's creating a record. It's data deleted, and if any error is occurred, so it's return failed. Now we go to our controller, and here we create functions for deleting a record. It's a delete record, and call that function it's delete record. And here we create alert for this alert D, that way the data is returned from this method. It's dot data. Now we go to our show data and we copy this on the delete function. So it's a ng click and we copy this. Now we run this view show data. Now we're deleting any records like this, data deleted. It's automatically not refreshed, so we need to add that functions. we adding some more values like test123 @gmail.com. It's the password. Let's see week. It's new body. Click to save. This data is inserted. Adding some more values. Email and its password, name, address, and city. So we refresh the page, it's showing error field. I think some variables mismatch. I think that function is called directly, so that registers value is null because same variables is used into this insert function. So we need to change this variable name. It's record, and we also change their value into this function, and we also call this function when the record is deleted. Now again run this project. Now we delete any record like this. So data deleted, it's removed, and we again run, we again add some data. Test at gmail.com, password, name, Delhi, New Delhi. Click to save. It's inserted. Again refresh and again check this once more. So paste password, its name and its address, city, and click to save. Now the data is inserted. Now we refresh our page and we delete any record. Data deleted, and click on this, also data deleted. So this all the functions of insert, update, and delete, and this all this CRUD operations in ASP.NET MVC using AngularJS. So thanks for watching. If you have any queries related to this topics or any other topics, so write in the comment box. I will reply you soon. And if you like my videos, please click on subscribe buttons and likes and share with your friends. So we will meet in next video session. So thanks, bye bye.